Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here at Beaver County Radio. And it's the first of 2024. Happy New Year to you and everybody. And we've heard from a lot of people is, where has Coach's Corner been? Well, we take December off mainly because of the holidays and, football is done and basketball is in tournaments and, that's what we do. So we'll be going strong for the next couple of 2-3 months with basketball. We're going to talk to a lot of coaches, both boys and girls, because we've got some really good girls teams as well around here. But our first edition is going to be all about Blackhawk. And the Blackhawk Cougars have an unbelievable tradition in both boys and girls basketball. And we're going to be joined by 5 of the young men from Blackhawk. But first, we're going to talk to their head coach, Andy Podbilski. Andy, it is your first year. Welcome, first of all.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It is your first year of coaching Blackhawk. You teach in the Riverside School District, but you have coached at numerous places. For anyone who isn't 100% sure, and here comes my partner. We're going to put him right in real quick. John Parada had some traffic issues, but glad that he had made it. But Andy, talk to us. Let's tell the folks your coaching history of where you've coached in the past and where people would know you from.
Yeah, people would know me. I actually grew up in the Blackhawk School District my entire life. I had the good fortune of playing for my dad at Seneca Valley High School. So I played for him at Seneca. I played collegiately at Westminster College. Then out of college, I started coaching at Blackhawk High School with under Andy Hedricks in 2005. Had a great run with him there. We won a Whitfield Championship in 2009, a couple of section titles with him, and then I moved on where I was the head coach at Beaver High School for 8 seasons up until 2016 was my last year there, or 17, I'm sorry. And, so I've been around. I took 2017 through this coming year off. I had young kids, and, I just kind of enjoyed life without coaching. And I've been officiating high school football during that time is a passion of mine. And when the Blackhawk job came open, I live in the district. My kids go there. It was a really good fit, and I was ready to get back in, and I was ready to start coaching again. And this has just been a great blessing and a great opportunity for me to get back into high school sports.
So you take over a team that loses, I think, 3 or 4 starters from last year. You graduate from some seniors, and one of your seniors, Jacob Patton, gets hurt. So things kind of go against you early, but in coaching, those things are going to happen, and it's next man up, and it's good for the younger kids to learn. So kind of talk to us about the experience so far since you've taken over.
No, I mean, that's – not just coaching, but life. I mean, there's going to be difficult things that happen to you and things that you can't control. And certainly Jacob getting hurt, people feel bad for the team, but I feel more badly for the kid.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacob was a hard worker. He was just a basketball player. He was a guy that, and not just a basketball player, but it was his only sport that he played.
Yeah.
And, people were really looking forward for a big year from him. Unfortunately, he got hurt in AAU last year and is unable to play this year. But I mean, that's life. You're going to have that in anything you do. And I've been fortunate with the kids the 5 kids that I brought here today and the rest of the roster that have embraced me and have embraced my coaching staff and have really worked hard and given me everything that they've had. And, we're working hard and having a positive experience. That's one of the things about, fortunately, I do have plenty of experience in this section and in Beaver County basketball at this level. And, and they followed me. And we're working hard and we're getting better. And I hate that sound like that's coach speak, but it's the truth. We are working hard. We're getting better. And, we're bringing along a team that really didn't have hardly any varsity experience. And we're trying to play one of the most challenging schedules in the WPAL.
John?
Andy, you've played 10 games now. You're 4-6. And now you get into the heart of the section schedule here. Pretty much from here on in, all section games until the playoffs. Where do you think you stand at this point? Do you like where you are at this point, or do you think you can get better? Do you think maybe you played a little better than you thought you would? Or
I think we're where we probably should be with our roster. I think we should have played a little better down in Central Valley, and we didn't. That's a good basketball team, and they played really well that night. But every game in this league is going to be possession to possession, a grind. And you have to bring that every single Tuesday and Friday, because if you don't, you're going to lose. And it's one of the things that my staff and I are trying to get through to these guys is in these games when you're playing the Beavers, the Central Valleys, the Ambridges, all these games are going to be within 1 or 2 points, and everything matters. Every call that doesn't go your way, every missed layup, every missed 50-50 ball, every missed rebound, those add up at the end when it's tight. And so we're trying to build on that and get a mentality that you have to overcome things during a game. You have to be mentally tough. You have to be obviously physically tough in order to get those wins. And when we do those things, we can beat pretty much anybody on our schedule. But when we don't, we struggle.
Yeah. So you went to the Ambridge tournament and you played a familiar face, Dante Calabria in Bethel Park, and the other night on I guess last Thursday,
Saturday night.
Saturday. That's right. Obviously your kids don't remember Dante Calabria playing. They're not old enough, but I'm sure they see that jersey and they know his number was retired. Was it kind of neat to play against his team?
Yeah, it was. It's funny because one of the as you know, my history, I grew up watching Dante from a Beaver Falls perspective, though, and those are some legendary basketball games. And I was saying before the game, I said to Rion Nesmith, who was officiating that game, I said, 31 years ago, would you ever thought you'd be reffing Dante? I'd be coaching Blackhawk, and Rick Lokitis, who reffed that game, would still be doing the officiating, and he laughed. Wow. So, it definitely comes full circle. But, yeah, it was cool playing against Dante and, being around him and what he was able to do. Certainly, in my opinion, one of the top 3 or 4 best basketball players ever in Beaver County history. So, definitely came full circle there.
Were your kids at least cognizant of, who he was? I know they didn't see him play, but the fact that he was, a great player at Blackhawk and went to a Final Four at North Carolina.
No, you can't be from Blackhawk without knowing who Dante is. You see his, like you said, you see his jersey every time you walk in the door. You see, the banners on the wall, and Dante was really one of the first ones to build that. He won the first state championship. They had one of the most powerful offensive teams that I've ever seen. And so, you can't grow up in Blackhawk without knowing Dante's story, or at least knowing who he is and what he was able to do.
Yeah.
So, Coach, by my count, unless I'm wrong, out of your first 10 games, you played 7 teams that made the playoffs last year, and some really, really good teams like Newcastle, Union, Bethel Park,
South Allegheny.
Yeah,
we can go down the list, right? Yeah.
Rochester even. And, a lot of coaches want to pile up wins, but a lot of coaches that tell me they would rather lose some early, and the overall record doesn't mean much because it prepares our kids. Even though they're losses, it prepares you for the season. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think you need a good mix of both, just from the mental aspect of it. You need some ones that are going to be sort of stress-free, and we've had those. But in the non-conference, we have had I would challenge you to find anybody that's played the caliber of schedule that we've played. And that, that schedule was done before I got the job, and it was, you can't control that. You got to play who's in front of you. And I'm proud of my guys, but we don't use that as an excuse. We go out and we try to do what we can do every time we play. And certainly would I have chosen to go to Highlands and South Allegheny? Absolutely not. But at the same time, those things make you better. You play against the best teams. You have to look at it that way. You can't. Nobody ever got anywhere in life feeling bad for themselves or making excuses. And so you just have to play.
No doubt. Let's talk about what you bring as far as what's different than they did last year. What's your offense like? What kind of defense do you play? Do you press? What kind of things do you do differently that you bring that the kids had to learn a little bit differently and had to kind of pick up what you're putting down?
I think I coached Brooks when he was at Blackhawk, and he was a part of our championship team, and I have a lot of respect for him and his staff, guys that he had on there. But I come at it from a different angle than he does. Offensively, a much more of a wide open dribble drive preferred style of play. When they ran a lot more power sets, where they ran more time off the clock and things like that. Mm-hmm. But and it's been an adjustment, and it's a different. I think my style is a little bit more wide open. I like to run up and down the floor a little bit more, and let my guards create and my scorers score. And I think that there's just a little bit more freedom in my system, and that's just the way I prefer to coach. There's no right or wrong either way. They were very successful, and defensively, everybody teaches pretty much the same concepts. We're a heavy man-to-man team. Against the schedule we have, we don't press a whole lot because, again, you do it against some of the guards we go against. Ball's going to end up in the back of the net, and you're pulling it out. So we definitely try to be a solid half-court man-to-man defense, and that's something we can definitely get better at. I think it's probably our weakest part of our game right now is half-court man-to-man.
Last question before we go to a quick break. You've had them, in summer you saw them play, you got to open gyms, and then you get to official practicing, and now you're in the games. And I'd say we're maybe not even halfway through, but we're about a third of the way through the season. Tell me some signs of your team getting better. When have you started noticing that things are starting to get better for your team?
Yeah, it was interesting. Against Bethel Park, we had a stretch where we're playing against one of the top teams in 5A. Trading baskets with them. We're starting to prove against these elite teams that we're playing that we belong. I don't think necessarily earlier in the season that we did that, but against those guys we did. We've shown that we can score the basketball better than what I think that people expected us to.
It's our first segment. We're going to take 4 more minutes? Oh, listen to my producer tell us we could take more time. Wow, things are changing, John. We're allowed to talk more.
Heavy, insightful questions.
How about that? Well, I'm with you. I want to remind folks before we continue on, thank you to Pizza Joe's, always at Beaver. Nice, hot, fresh pizza. You missed the... It's in there, but it'll be cold by the time you get to it.
Well, I got
traffic jam you got here.
A microwave over there.
Yeah, you got a microwave. That's right. Thank you to them, and also let you know we're in the AK Nahas Appliance and Furniture Broadcast booth. John, you've got some more questions.
I do. Did you miss coaching the years you were away from it? And I realize you had children you're raising, and that's certainly a full-time job in itself. But did you miss it at all, the kind of the competition and working with the kids and what have you?
You know what, I did. And a lot of the things that originally when I got out I didn't miss was some of the everyday grind of, you have to be with your youth things. You have to be, everywhere at once. And I think that's what sort of wore me down. But you always miss that adrenaline you get on Tuesdays and Fridays. And so part of that's why I started officiating football, because, I kind of got that on Friday nights. Yeah. You're out there and you're doing big games and you're on the field. But I did miss working with the kids, and I missed the X's and O's and the competition of that. And I was fortunate to step away when I did, because I didn't miss anything of, when my kids were little and the things that they were doing. And now, even though I'm back in it, my son's in the program, my daughter's in the girls program, and I do miss some of their stuff. I still coach my son's 4th grade team when I can. But you miss that, because if you're a competitor, that's part of you. And, it's tough it was tough at times, but there's certainly things that I didn't miss. But now, and part of the reason I did take the Blackhawk job is I'm with the youth all the time anyways. Yeah. So, it was just a great opportunity to do both.
How much, and I know it wasn't a great period of time you were gone, but it was a few years. Has the game changed much just in the time you were gone, or is it still pretty much, in your estimation, the same game?
No, I think the game of basketball is always the same. Can you stop the guy in front of you? Can you score more points than the other team? And that's, I think that will never change. Now, the styles certainly have a little bit since, we were there. But a lot of the coaches, when I stepped away, are still there, So it's still the same stuff, that we went against when I was a Beaver. So not necessarily.
You mentioned your family. Talk about your family, and you mentioned a son and a daughter, and tell me about your family.
Sure. Well, first, my wife Amy, who is she's amazing. She just made the comment before I left to come here that she was now a professional Uber driver, but it's just for my kids. So, but she's the best. She, from my time at Beaver and being a Blackhawk, she understands the sacrifices that she has to make. But she's awesome, and there's, I couldn't do it without her. Obviously, my daughter Drew is a 6th grader at Blackhawk in the basketball program. My son David, he's a 4th grader in the basketball program. He's also a big soccer player. And the flag football player, he's not putting the pads on just yet, but he's going to. So they're awesome. They support me in everything I do. They come to all the games, and they're, my biggest fans, and I'm there. So great just great to have their support.
So you played for your dad. Someday, if things continue to go the way you want, you will eventually maybe coach your son at the high school level. What would that be like to coach your son? Because a lot of people don't get to do it because they coach in a different school district or they give the game up by the time their kids get to high school. That way you'll get to see him play, obviously, but what would that be like for you?
It would be a dream. I mean, my son is a gym rat. He comes to every practice he possibly can, even more so than I was growing up in Beaver Falls. David is named after my father.
Yep.
He is one of those kids that he loves basketball. He loves every aspect of it, from the coaching. He picks up. He loves the guys to be around the team. He loves the intricacies of the game. He's a 10-year-old, but his basketball mind's at 15 or 16.
That's good.
Maybe a little. I wish I could get his math grade to that level, but you
will.
But yeah, that would be a dream. But because he's such an easy kid to coach because he loves the game and he's a tough competitor, and he just one of those guys that like anything he does, he goes all out, and he's if he keeps working as he should, and he will, he'll be a pretty good player. So.
We're going to take our first break. You're listening here on Beaver County Radio with Blackhawk boys coach Andy Podbilski. It is the Coach's Corner here on Beaver County Radio. We'll be right back.
Let's get grumped up. Feel like grabbing a drink with friends or enjoying a delicious meal? Stop in the Grumpy Beaver, 234 Bridge Street in Bridgewater. Try a variety of hoagies or hot dogs. Enjoy the wedge selections or a mouth-watering dessert. If you need a place to host an event, they've got that covered too. Call the Grumpy Beaver today and become a member of the Grumpy Nation. To keep up with current events, live music selections, and more, follow the Grumpy Beaver on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget to check out the Spirit Speakeasy located upstairs behind the red door, Thursday through Saturday at the Grumpy Beaver.
Listening to live sports on the radio in Beaver County is a tradition. This is Craig Fontana from Moon Township Ford, and I ought to know. My dad, Bill Fontana, has called games for over 50 years. Beaver County people know a good call when they hear one, and the best call you can make is to buy your next new or used vehicle at Moon Township Ford. Click moontownshipford.net or visit Moon Township Ford on University Boulevard.
Belconi's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Zookie's Sports Tavern on Constitution Boulevard has the best wings and homemade sauces in Beaver County. Zookie's Sports Tavern is the perfect place to grab a bite to eat or a cold beverage before high school basketball games. Zookie's Sports Tavern has a heated and enclosed outside bar equipped with several big screen TVs and is the ideal place to watch all of your favorite sports. Don't forget to become a VIP for discounts and special offers at Zookies.com. That's Zookie's Sports Tavern on Constitution Boulevard.
In Beaver County, there are many great stories to tell. One such worthy story is that of the Drug-Free Community Support Program. Now in its 4th year of serving Aliquippa, the project has enjoyed great success through in-school interaction, education, raising awareness, and data analysis. The Drug-Free Community Support Program in Aliquippa has a mission to help local youth make better decisions regarding alcohol and drug use. For more information or to find out how you can get involved, visit Drug Free Aliquippa on Facebook.
We're back at the studios in Brighton Township, specifically the AK Nahas Appliance and Furniture broadcast booth. And we are at our first edition. Happy New Year, John. I didn't get a chance. You said Happy New Year.
Appreciate it. Happy New Year.
When you were coming in. Thank you. Our first show for basketball of 2024 with Blackhawk head coach Andy Podbilski. We talked a little bit about his background, his family, offense, defense, other things. Let's talk about the section now. And a lot of people think that not only the top, well, by far, I think the toughest section in 4A, and a lot believe the toughest section in the WPIL. And not just because Lincoln Park is in it, although that does set it apart from other people. Beaver has been a strong squad the last couple years. North Catholic has always been strong. Central Valley has won titles, and they're always competitive. Blackhawk, a fine tradition. Hopewell and Ambridge down a little bit, but they've had some fine traditions in basketball as well, and there's talent in those districts. It just has to come out. So, Andy, I ask you, again, some coaches want to play in easy sections and pile things up, but having that tough competition game in and game out makes your team better, I think.
Oh, sure. I mean, in this league, every game is a playoff game. I mean, because you're playing a playoff caliber team. You look at the teams that you mentioned that had struggled. Ambridge is a really good team this year. They got a chance to really do some good things. Hopewell certainly came into our place undefeated, and they are better than they've been. Mm-hmm. Every single night in this league is a grind, and it's certainly you have Lincoln Park, who's probably head and shoulders better than anybody, not just in this section but in the state.
Yeah.
North Catholic certainly right there with them. I mean, and in the same breath. And we're all just competing to try to get into the playoffs and try to make some noise there, because it is a grind. And if you do win any games in this section, you've done something, because every team's well prepared. They're all well coached. Every team has solid players and solid traditions, as you mentioned, and it is a grind. And sometimes it can weigh on you for sure. But you like to have some easy ones. But again, I always tell myself, the harder to flame, the harder to steal. The harder to steal. You got to be able to overcome these things, and you got to be able to play what's in front of you.
Once you get out of the section in the classification, Hampton in Section 1 has always been a very strong team, a team fighting for championships. Knock is good again this year. Highlands has been a team in the final 3 or 4 in the last handful of years. Uniontown made it to, I think, the state semifinals last year. Southmoreland is really good this year. And then you've got Avonworth, Quaker Valley, South Allegheny, Montour. They got a lot of really good teams in the classification, and I would say that this classification might be one or two as far as classification. So not only in the toughest section, you might be in the toughest classification as well.
Right. I mean, 4A is absolutely loaded. The teams you just mentioned right there. I mean, and you didn't Elizabeth Ford.
I didn't mention them, right?
Mention them, and they just beat South Allegheny, who was one of the. In my opinion, one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the WPIL and 4A. Certainly, Avonworth is tremendous. I mean, it's really got a lot of depth in 4A and a lot of really strong teams and good coaches and good programs. And it is. I mean, it's a challenge, and it's certainly you look at. I think in other classifications, there might be some easy ones in the first and second round of playoffs, but in 4A, there's not. There's not.
Speaking of sections, we've seen in football and even in basketball to an extent since we've gone to the 6A format. There's a lot of sections that are spread out, teams here, there, everywhere. But your section's pretty much all close together. You're all fairly geographically close. How does that add to the intensity of the rivalries within the section when the kids really do know each other, they see each other, they play against each other?
Yeah, absolutely, they do, and that makes it all the more intense when the kids, they know each other, they hang out together. I can, just using my son's team, his AAU team has kids from Hope. I mean, he's going to be growing up playing against these kids his whole life, and that's the same thing, here now next year that won't be the case for us because we're going to be playing in 5A, so we will be geographically dispersed. Yeah. But, which is part of the reason that it is kind of a real bummer that we're not playing in 4A anymore, even though the challenge is that that familiarity and the rivalry among the kids just won't be there.
Yeah. I know next year's a ways off, but were you expecting that you'd go to 5A, or was it a little bit of a surprise when the numbers come out, or what were you and the school's expectations of where you might land next year?
To me, it was an absolute shock, to be honest with you. When, the football coach at Blackhawk's a really good friend of mine, Pat Feely, and he texted me, he goes, "Are you guys in 5A next year?" I said, "What are you talking about?" They showed me the numbers, and I said, I guess we are. So, yeah, that was a shock. I mean, nobody expected that, but, that's the hand we're dealt, and so that's what we're going to play.
Yeah.
Well, unless things change, I would imagine you'll be playing the West Allegheny, Chartiers Valleys, Moons, South Fayettes, probably, I would think. But that's Mars. It remains to be seen of whether they stay in 5A or move up or down, too. Coach, let's talk a little bit about the kids. You said they're starting to pick things up. Is there any kid that, say, you have seen that has made strides, who's kind of an unsung hero, kind of a guy that maybe you and the coaches didn't expect a lot from, but has really with his work ethic, his leadership, or anything that has really gone above and beyond for you guys so far this year?
Yeah, all 5 of the guys that you're going to hear from tonight would all fall into that category.
Okay.
Because, again, none of them had ever been at this varsity level of a focal point of an offense, or even other than Tyler Heckethorn, even really played any varsity basketball before. And, he's certainly been, one of our offensive go-to guys with what he's been able to do. He's averaging around 17 points a game, 8 rebounds. Justin Shaner's a kid that we were really excited about that had a good summer and played well in AAU and played well in the summer circuit, and he's now doing a lot of big things for us, averaging, again, around 16, 17 points a game. But most importantly for Justin, it's been about 13 to 14 rebounds per game, which is a tremendous statistic showing what he can do. Hayden Jones, another young guard we were really excited about that has really grown in this league and made some big shots for us, played some good defense. Dante Campagna would have played last year. He was hurt.
Football.
And you guys certainly know what Dante's capable of on a football field, but he's also been one of the best defenders and floor players that I've ever had. I mean, at Beaver or at Blackhawk, Dante's just one of those kids that if you're doing anything, you want him with you. And then lastly, Nate Fernetti, who was also injured last year, is a guy that has really shown when given a chance what he's capable of. He's definitely been he's played point guard this year at a very high level for us, had some really big games. Nate's a kid that this is the first time he's been on a varsity floor, and he's really delivered for us, and he's a guy that we can't take off the floor because of his leadership, because of the way that he's been handling the ball for us, his assists. He shoots the ball well. He's a tremendous athlete, as evidenced by his track career. So, all 5 of these guys that are here tonight have all played well. And our bench guys really have stepped up too, because, again, none of those guys have been ever asked to do what we're asking them to do. And so everybody on down, from A.J. Boyer to Jack Schneider, those guys, again, these are JV guys last year. Logan Gabauer is another one that have come in and have never played varsity basketball, let alone at the level you guys are talking about with our section and our schedule. And not one of them has made an excuse, and not one of them has, been down on the coaching staff or down on their teammates. These guys, I tell them all the time, they genuinely like each other, and they pick each other up, and that means something. And it makes it fun to come to practice. It makes it fun for my staff and I to work with these guys. And, while I have a minute, if I could just mention it, my coaching staff is a tremendous group of guys. Matt Parrish, who I coach AAU basketball with, has been an outstanding varsity assistant for us. He's great with the kids. His knowledge of the game is tremendous. Alan Gumbert's a guy that's been at Blackhawk for a long time, and I've known him through the football world. But in basketball, he's a tremendous JV coach that the kids look up to and they really respect. And Matt Puppich, who volunteers for me, I couldn't appreciate the time that he gives us, for nothing. He comes to work with these kids, and he comes to work to make them better and make them not just better basketball players, but make them better young men. And all of my staff tries to do that, and I couldn't be more appreciative of what those guys do for us.
John?
Oh, we were talking about earlier, you're getting into section play, and I know you had a young team coming in, but you've got 10 games of experience now. How much does that help to kind of sharpen the iron a little bit to get into the heart of the section play?
Yeah, it helps tremendously. We've been to tough venues. We've played good teams. We can't use that excuse anymore that, that we're inexperienced or that we're not used to the varsity level, because now 10 games in, we better start, showing that we can win some of these games. It's not enough just to compete in them. We got to get over that hump. We got to start winning them. And I think, as the season progresses, we're going to, because the buy-in's been great, the attitude's been great, and we keep working and doing what we need to do. Good things are going to happen.
Does it get into a better rhythm now, too? I know December can be tough. There's distractions. You have the holiday, Christmas vacation. Now it seems like you get back on a normal Tuesday, Friday schedule from here on out. How much, I don't want to say easier, but how much better does it make it to be in that routine now?
No, yeah, you get in that routine where you're practicing Monday after school, game Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It certainly it locks you into what you're doing. And I think the focus is there because now you settle into the practice schedules a little more the same, and it makes it easier. When you're not constantly playing hodgepodge days and things like that. This certainly playing with a set schedule like that makes it nice.
Well, we're done with Coach Podbilski, but we're going to hear from the young men coming up. But let you guys know, the Pizza Joe's in Beaver, they're always busy when I go down there. They have a great menu of pizza and hoagies and wings and all kind of other fun stuff. Thank you to them for being a sponsor and giving us pizzas all the time. Here on WBVP 99.3 and 12:30 a.m. Beaver County Radio. We'll be back with some of the young Cougars coming back in 60 seconds.
What's up, folks? This is Maurice Trent, and I'm a Blackhawk Cougar. Well, it's true that when it's game time, we might be on different sides. It's the other team that we were all a part of that will make a real difference once the season's over.
If you're an employer, what do you look for in a prospective new hire? A proven track record is usually the #1 trait. For 46 years now, the Beaver County Career and Technology Center has been creating the workforce that has shaped Western Pennsylvania industry and service sector enterprises. It's the program with proven experience that employers know they can count on when they need to fill their workforce. Enroll your child or grandchild at the known quantity among educators and business leaders alike for 4 decades. The Beaver County Career and Technology Center. Signing up through your local public school is easy and can give your student the ability, in many cases, to make more money in certain fields than college graduates. Free career training at Beaver County Career and Technology Center is the perfect choice. Visit bcctc.org.
Falling in love is one thing. Having anxiety about falling is a whole different subject. If you or a family member are concerned about falling, and yes, either up or down the stairs, or maybe even out of bed, St. Barnabas has a special message and some ideas just for you. Years of experience in working with people who are prone to falls has given St. Barnabas special expertise in this area. Call them at 724-443-0700 and learn about ways that you can begin to feel more confident and safe, including suggestions that you can implement right now into your daily routine. Call St. Barnabas at 724-443-0700. For many years now, St. Barnabas has been helping people fall, in love that is, with their new, better life, a longer life, a risk-free life. Call St. Barnabas now at 724-443-0700 or visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com and learn more about living longer and better.
Hey, it's time to wake up, Beaver Valley. Hi, this is Pastor David Grove from the Church of the Redeemed of Beaver Valley. After over 2 years on the air, it seems that some of you still cannot get up in time. So I've got good news. Wake Up Beaver Valley is moving to a new time, now airing from 9 to 10, this and every Saturday morning. It's time to wake up and turn our hearts back to the cross of Jesus Christ. So I invite you to wake up early this Saturday. To find out more, it's Wake Up Beaver Valley, Saturdays from 9 until 10 a.m. on Beaver County Radio. God bless you.
Back on Coach's Corner, first one of the year, and Mike Azadi and John Parada. Behind the mic is, I didn't even recognize the guy. He shaved his beard. Ryan Garzunas. I hope I said it right. I messed his name up.
I wonder what's up.
When he walked in, I was like, there must have been a razor sale.
Maybe.
Or something was going on because he was like,
maybe he's changes up his looks for another reason.
The CVS in Monaca or must have had a sale on razors.
Maybe.
Back with the Blackhawk Cougars. We joke. We like to keep it light. Our first 2 guests are Nate Frenetti. Is it Frenetti or Frenetti? Frenetti. He's a senior. And next to him is Justin Shaner. I got that right? He's a junior. Now, you guys are going to have to get that in between you. And when I ask questions and put it, there you go. There you go. That's the kind of stuff they don't teach you in AV class at Blackhawk. We have to teach you here. Yeah. But anyway, guys, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Wow, man, this is going to be a long
They're
segment.
in awe of you, Mike.
But they're not
They've
on
never
me.
been around a celebrity as big as you.
I'm not a celebrity. I'm just I'm nobody like you.
In awe right now. You got to let them
Let's
settle
start
in.
off with the senior. Let's start off with Nate. Nate, being a senior, being only a handful of seniors on the team, being one of the guys that's coming back, do a lot of the younger kids look to you for leadership? Your coach seems to say a lot of good things about you. And how do you handle being a leader? You seem kind of quiet. Are you more the example kind of guy, or are you more the kind of guy that doesn't have a problem telling a kid when he's doing something wrong?
It's like both. So like sometimes they'll come, and whenever the coach is telling someone else what to do, they don't get an answer out of them. So I tell them, and like show them what to do, and I'll be vocal about it too.
Okay. So what would you say about this team? What do you think the one thing this team does well?
Hustle plays.
Hustle plays? That's a big thing doing well. Justin, let's go to you. Get that mic closer to you now. Don't be afraid to sit closer to the...
Okay.
Hey, move up, man. Don't be afraid.
Okay.
Camera's not going to hurt you. All the girls in Blackhawk aren't going to say, oh, look at you, you know.
Maybe they would.
They might. They might. What's one thing this team can do better?
We can do better.
Yeah.
I think we can work as a team more.
Okay.
I think like just more like motion and like passing up a good shot for a great shot, just stuff like that to maybe get into your buckets.
Okay.
I think we settle too much for like they're good shots, but we could get a greater shot.
Now, your coach mentioned Tyler having some varsity experience last year, but I do remember you getting some and playing as well. Being that most of the guys are new starters and getting a lot more varsity time than usual, but that's high school basketball. You're not always going to have everybody coming back. Talk to me about the experience of you playing last year, even in a limited role, how that made you better this year.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think I was completely mature enough to like, I was super like anxious and worried to make a mistake. So I think this year's like the year where I can finally prove myself. And I don't know. Last year was kind of just a breeze. I didn't play that much, but
Hey, you played in some of the games I saw. So,
yeah, I did play
John?
a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you guys, like I asked Coach a little bit earlier, I know you've played a couple section games. You won one and you lost one. But pretty much now gets into the heart of the section schedule and into the meat of the season. You're 4-6, but you played a lot of really good teams, a lot of teams that were in the playoffs last year and a lot of teams that will most likely be in the playoffs this year. Where do you think you guys stand right now? I mean, I know you probably like to be better than 4-6, but do you feel that's prepared you pretty well for section play?
Yeah, I think it prepares us pretty good because some of the games that we lost, we should have won, but we just as ourselves, we just got down on each other, like on ourselves, and then like we just pretty much beat ourselves. The teams never beat us. We just beat ourselves.
How do you try to overcome? I mean, do you use it as a learning experience and say, "Hey, we made this mistake tonight, and we'll know better next time," or how do you take that?
Yeah, we just go into practice the next day and just work on it over and over again until we can show it in the next game. And yeah.
Justin, what have you thought of the season so far?
I think we are a lot better than 4-6. Some games definitely slipped away from our hands, like that Union game. We could have definitely pulled that one out. CV, I think we just did not play our full potential, and it was just a huge crowd, and it just overwhelmed us maybe. We are a lot better than 4-6. I think we are a pretty good playoff team as of now.
All right, guys. For football, I asked people, and Dante will remember this, would you rather score a touchdown or stop a TD? For basketball, I'm going to ask you, games on the line, we're going to ask you first, Nate. Do you want to go up and stop a guy and block him with a tremendous block, or do you want to make the bucket to win the game? What would you rather do? Most people are going to say make the bucket, but defensive players are going to say block. Either one get a big hurrah from the fans.
I'd probably say block.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more of like a defensive
player.
I like playing defense.
Justin, what do you think? Be honest. I don't care.
I like playing both sides of the floor, but I honestly would rather take the shot because like if you take the shot and the buzzer goes off, everyone just surrounds you for that moment, and it hasn't happened yet. But
next question for both of you: what's it like being on a free throw line? And you guys got good support at Blackhawk. I mean, win or lose, you guys have fans. A lot of people, you guys may not realize it, but when we go to Blackhawk games, there are people been going to Blackhawk games for 30 or 40 years. That's just the way it is. You guys have a good following, and I would say more so than almost any school. You guys get a lot of attendance, a lot of people, a lot of families. So there's a lot of people in there. So now you're at the free throw line, games on the line. What's it like when the crowd's either cheering for you or against you? I got to watch what I say, but I mean, do you get tight, or what's it like for you on the free throw line?
I really don't hear anything.
Okay.
I try to focus, focus on making the shot, and just I don't focus on anything else other than the free throw.
Justin, how about you?
I mean, whenever it comes to that moment, you just kind of block everything out, and you're just focused on that hoop and getting your routine in, and just.
Your legs ever get wobbly? You ever get a little nervous?
Yeah, a little bit, but that's gonna happen with the.
Kind of like John does when
pressure.
he comes on my show. John, you're up.
I take his approach. I just block
you. Block me out.
Block you out.
Man, that's so tough on me. John, you're up.
The Frenity name is attached to a lot of history of Blackhawk basketball, as you well know. How much pride do you take in that, knowing that you're not only carrying on a school tradition, but also a family tradition?
I take a lot of pride on it because I'll get my family and all them to come to the game sometime. I had a couple aunts and uncles come out that used to play at Blackhawk and come watch me. And either if they can't make it, they'll text me after the game and stuff and tell me what I could do better and what I did good.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys, I mean, obviously you don't remember Dante Calabria as a player, but you see that jersey, that number hanging in your gym. What was it like to get a chance, even though I know you were playing against him, just to, at least shake hands and say hello to him? Was that pretty special to be able to meet somebody that meant that much to the Blackhawk, to the program?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So my dad tells me stories about him all the time, how he went to school with him. He talks about him all the time, especially that weekend playing Bethel Park. And he was just like filling my ear with Dante Calabria. And it was nice to shake his hand knowing he was a Blackhawk legend.
Yeah.
So.
He was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, one thing about Blackhawk, and you guys obviously realize this, it's in the trophy case. You've got three of the best athletes that ever have come out of the county. And one of the top one or two basketball players in Chassis Amagroso and baseball player, and oh my God, I forgot his name. The pitcher, Brendan McKay. I mean, people who were just above everybody else, and in Dante Calabria. So that means a whole lot. That's why your programs have so much of a following. Let's talk about you guys specifically now. Nate, you first, college-wise. I mean, are you a kind of guy, do you want to go to college? Are you going to go to trade school? Are you going to get a job? What's your plans after this year? I know still 3 or 4 months away before graduation, but what are you thinking about?
Lately I've been thinking about going to college and like running track and stuff.
Okay.
I've had a couple of schools reach out telling me that they really want me to come there.
What's your discipline in track? Is that the way you say it? Discipline? That's gymnastics. What did I say? What's your event in track?
I do
I don't know what I'm talking about.
You're a sports guy.
Come on, man. I got covered gymnastics. What do I look like, a gymnast? But no, yeah, of course not. Weightlifter, maybe. But no, go ahead. I'm sorry, Nate.
I do all the jumping events.
Okay.
So long jump, triple jump, high jump. And
okay.
Then last year I recently threw pole vault in just to try it out.
Cool. Now, what would you study in school? So say 10 years from now, what do you want to be doing?
I still have time to think about that. I don't really know.
Undecided.
I really don't know what I want to study.
Okay. All right. So, Justin, you still got a year and a half to go. Is sports something you want to do in college? You want to go to college? And what do you want to do with your life when you get out of school?
So the plan A, the plan I actually I would love to do is hopefully get a little scholarship or just play basketball in college. That'd be
cool.
That would be huge. And then, but if that doesn't work out, maybe try a trade and learn a hard skill.
Cool.
And then, go from there.
Like electrician or plumber or something like that.
Yep. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. What's it mean to you guys to have the support of the community and the kids in school? You guys always have big crowds. Blackhawk usually packs them in for football, basketball. Even if you go to a Blackhawk baseball game, a lot of people. Even Blackhawk softball. You guys, volleyball, it doesn't matter what it is. A lot of fans, a lot of support. What's it mean? Let's start with you, Justin. What's it mean to you?
It's huge. The support, I love it. I love it. Just everyone in the community coming together for a Thursday, Friday night to watch their team play basketball or football Friday night. And I love it.
Nate, you're being a senior, you walk around with your Blackhawk stuff on in school and younger kids look up to you. And how does that make you feel to be noticed as an athlete and somebody that's respected in school?
It feels good knowing that the young kids look up to someone like me, like a senior leader. And that whenever we have like our youth camps and stuff, I'm always the first one that wants to be a coach and teach them all the things that they need to know.
Okay. Well, guys, we're going to take another break. We just heard from Nate Frenetti and Justin Shaner. Guys, thank you. Tough act to follow. We're going to be coming in with Hayden Jones, Tyler Heckathorn, and Dante Campagna next here on Beaver County Radio.
The place for news, sports, and entertainment. You're listening to Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP, coming to you live from the all-new Fry Transportation Studios. Let's get grumped up. Feel like grabbing a drink with friends or enjoying a delicious meal? Stop in the Grumpy Beaver, 234 Bridge Street in Bridgewater. Try a variety of hoagies or hot dogs. Enjoy the wedge selections or a mouth-watering dessert. If you need a place to host an event, they've got that covered too. Call the Grumpy Beaver today and become a member of the Grumpy Nation. To keep up with current events, live music selections, and more, follow the Grumpy Beaver on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget to check out the Spirit Speakeasy located upstairs behind the red door, Thursday through Saturday at the Grumpy Beaver.
I'm Daniel Frank, and I'm a Beaver Bobcat. That's because we are training for a long and a very profitable postseason once high school is over at the Beaver County and Technology Center.
If you're an employer, what do you look for in a prospective new hire? A proven track record is usually the #1 trait. For 46 years now, the Beaver County Career and Technology Center has been creating the workforce that has shaped Western Pennsylvania industry and service sector enterprises. It's the program with proven experience that employers know they can count on when they need to fill their workforce. Enroll your child or grandchild at the known quantity among educators and business leaders alike for 4 decades. The Beaver County Career and Technology Center. Signing up through your local public school is easy and can give your student the ability, in many cases, to make more money in certain fields than college graduates. Free career training at Beaver County Career and Technology Center is the perfect choice. Visit bcctc.org.
I'm Patty.
And I'm Bob. We're retired, and we live at St. Barnabas in the Village.
We used to have a house.
Lived in it for 40 years.
Raised our kids.
But it became too much. The upkeep, the stairs.
Moving seemed like such a hassle. We didn't even know where to start, so we didn't.
Until we met Cindy at St. Barnabas.
She talked us through our options.
Yeah, and she helped us with our move and all the arrangements.
There was so much stuff. Who knew we had 3 fondue pots?
But she made it easy.
So easy.
Now we enjoy ourselves.
Golf, the pool, new friends, shuttles to where we want to go.
The pub and the food.
So good.
There wasn't a long-term commitment or any large fees.
And they have a healthcare system on campus with doctors if we need it. The kids really like that.
The kids like to come and eat with us.
There's an easier, worry-free way to retire at the Village at St. Barnabas. Come visit us for a free and informative counseling session and personal tour.
I can't believe you waited so long.
I can't believe you waited so long.
Visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com or call 724-443-0700.
Are you ready to start your career journey? Turn your dream into a degree at Community College of Beaver County. With over 35 degrees and pathways in business, health science, STEM, aviation, and more, CCBC can help you navigate to your destination. Which will you choose? Enroll now for spring classes and start your journey. Learn more at ccbc.edu. Real learning for real life.
Hey, now we're back with Coach's Corner. Mike Azadian, John Parada, and after John, we've got Hayden Jones, Dante Campagna, and Tyler Heckathorn. Did I get all your names right?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Second time this year for Dante.
Yeah. Thanks
You
for
gonna,
having me.
you gonna talk a little more than you did during football?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
They say you're a quiet one.
He's thought of a lot of things to say since September.
I know. Now, let's start with Dante. You're a senior, correct?
Correct.
You didn't get a chance to play basketball last year because of an injury.
Right.
Now you're back playing.
Yep.
Got to make you feel good to get back here on the court on your senior season?
Yeah, it definitely feels good to be back on the court and playing with my friends.
So talk about being, I talked with Nate about being a senior leader. And I joked with you about being a coach on the field. When you were injured for a few games for football, you were right there with the coaching staff. A lot of kids are sitting on a bench, looking in the stands. You were right there with the coaches as if you wanted to learn the game, wanted to see what was going on. That's part of being a leader. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I think I do my best leading by example. And, just hoping my teammates follow.
Okay. Hayden, as a junior, you're one of the guys that Coach talked about, a guy that didn't get a chance to play a lot last year, but you're part of a lot this year. What's your experience been like so far this year playing for this team?
Last year, not getting very much time, but this year I'm really enjoying it. Now that I'm finally getting some varsity minutes, I'm starting. I'm having fun. I'm really enjoying it.
So I asked the other guys, when you for your first couple games, were you really nervous? Was it like, man, what am I doing here? Or was your confidence built over the summer and during practice where you knew you could do this?
The first couple games, I was definitely a little nervous. But as I started getting used to more of the varsity games, I started getting less nervous and feeling more confident.
Now, Tyler, both of your brothers have played both basketball and football, am I right?
Yep.
So you've played, get that mic a little closer to you, buddy. And you follow in their footsteps. In fact, you're the only guy amongst the five. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Dante played football. What did football, how long does it take before you get from football shape to basketball shape? Because a lot of people don't realize completely different. You're short bursts in football, but in basketball, it's a lot of running.
Well, this year's a little tough. Missed the whole football season.
Oh.
Due to an injury at BF. It's BF.
Right.
So it was a little different, but it's hard because it's different conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
It's more running up and down than football. You don't run that much.
Right.
But basketball, it's nonstop. You're running.
So you have to be in condition.
Yeah, it's different conditioning.
So other than Nate, who's a track guy, he's probably the most in shape out of all of you, I would think, if he's running track. But Tyler, being one of the only a couple of guys that really played a lot that came back, Dante would have played, but everybody knows him as being a guy that would have played a lot. What experience do you bring to the younger guys, the guys that didn't get a chance to play a lot last year? What can you lend to them as your experience?
I think just like teaching them and showing them how to play in those situational conference games where it's like possession to possession, very close games in the section every single game. Just showing them how to like stay calm and be poised and fight through it.
John, what do you got for these guys?
I wanted to ask you guys, ask your teammates. You've got 10 games under your belt now, which is not quite halfway through, but now you get into the heart of the section schedule, the games that really matter. I mean, considering you've played a tough schedule, you've played a lot of teams that were in the playoffs last year and will probably be back in this year when the playoff season comes around. What do you think? Are you happy with where you guys are right now at 4-6, considering the competition, or how do you think you shape up here, getting ready to kind of get into the stretch run of the season?
I think that just prepares us playing these hard non-conference games for like the Beaver and the CV. But I don't think any game really compares to a conference game where it's somewhat turns into a football game. Yeah. You're just fighting it. You won't get all the calls you want, but you just got to fight through it and keep your composure.
Dante, how about you? How do you think you guys are shaping up at this point?
I think we're in a good spot. We obviously would have wanted to win some of those non-conference games, but we played some of the best teams in 4A, and I just think that's going to help us improve, and it's tested us, and we'll be ready for the conference.
Hayden, it's your first year as a starter playing against some pretty elite competition here the first month of the season. How's that helped you think become a better player just from facing that kind of caliber of players?
Well, it's definitely made me a better player, especially playing these tough 4A teams that we play. But yeah, it's definitely making me a better player, and it's getting ready for us to play conference section games.
All right, guys, we're going to throw some different stuff at you. So basketball, football, you don't hear it as much when we're in the broadcast booth. But basketball, we hear it sometimes. You see guys talking, you see trash talking. Is there anybody on the team that's a trash talker that kind of likes to let the other team know after they make a big shot? Or I see some kids will point to the stands or point to the visiting guys or do a little bit of chirping. Is there anybody on your team that likes to get things going like that? Well, I see some smiles and nods, but nobody wants
I
to.
see some people in the hallway laughing too.
Well,
Yeah, it's okay.
when it's close, I like to get fired up.
Okay.
So when I get like an and one I don't shoot a lot of threes, but when I shoot and make it, it gets me a little fired up. I maybe say some words or probably shouldn't say, but.
Okay, so you don't have to say those, but that's okay.
Yeah, in the heat of the moment, I get fired up.
So basically, it's you. You're the guy. Okay.
Just passionate.
It's okay, because Dante kind of wanted to say it, but he didn't want to throw you under the bus, and then you smiled. So all right, we'll change things. Let's talk about you guys' futures. I know you guys are only juniors, two of you. Dante, you're a senior. Same thing I asked your teammates. What do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to study? Or do you want to go to school? Or do you want to get a job? Or what do you see in your future?
I also want to go for a sport, whether it's basketball or football.
What's your favorite?
Oh,
Tough.
yeah.
Your brothers both play football in college.
Yeah.
Be nice to kind of go to college and do better than them, but
It would. I don't. It's really whatever is in season, to be honest.
Mhm.
But whatever opportunity comes and whatever there's basketball or football, I'll have to make that decision. I think I'm leaning towards a little bit more football just because I've missed it this past season. It's really shown me how much I love football.
But when you go to school, what do you want to do?
I was thinking about getting some more sales.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Dante, you're a senior. Not much more time to go in school. You're out in the real world pretty soon.
Planning on going to Pitt next year.
Okay, cool.
And I'm going to study business.
Okay. Good for you. What do you hope to be? What do you hope to do with that?
I'm not quite sure yet. I'm going
The degree's a degree.
get up there and see what I enjoy. And
Beautiful Oakland. All right. And Hayden, how about you? I know only a junior. Got a lot. It's coming on quick. I mean, you're going to be a senior before you know it.
Yeah, I'm with Tyler. I was going to be in sales or marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, I was planning to I'm going to try to get into Coastal Carolina.
Oh.
That's where I would like to go.
Okay.
But
Why Coastal Carolina? Just something because it's down south? It's,
I'm a big fan of the South.
okay. You just want to get away from the cold weather.
Yeah.
So once you leave Pittsburgh, you're never coming back? Is that what you're telling me?
I might.
Wow. You're not even going to come back and visit your teammates?
I probably will.
Wow.
Every once in a while.
Rough. John, what do you got?
Guys, you played Bethel Park the other night on Saturday, and I mean, I know obviously Dante Calabria was before your time. You never saw him actually play in person, but I mean, you see that jersey, you see that number in the gym, and I'm sure you've all heard the stories about, what he meant to the program and his place in the history. Was it kind of neat to be able to at least, I mean, I know obviously you didn't get a chance to talk to him at length during a game, but at least get a chance to meet him and say hello?
Yeah, I didn't recognize a face or anything.
Yeah.
Then so I got subbed out, and one of my teammates pointed at me and said, "There he is," or "There's John." And I was just like, "Wow!" Like he was history of Blackhawk, and it was kind of surreal.
Did either of you guys get a chance to at least shake hands with him for a minute?
Yeah. During the game, I didn't really realize it.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew he was the coach, but shaking his hand at the end of the game, it kind of hit me. It was pretty cool.
Did you ask him why he didn't take it a little easier on you guys since it's his alma mater?
No.
Okay.
Just shook his hand.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're going to wrap things up in a little bit, but the last question I have for you, you come out of the locker room, the fans are on their feet. For football, you're running out of the tunnel. What's it feel like? The music's playing. How does it make you feel when you're coming onto that court, that Blackhawk court, where so many legends have been before?
It's definitely a different vibe than in a football game. It's more close up and personal. Music's louder. It's especially on a big game, you could just you just get you get the chills a little bit. Just
That's cool.
Thinking about just playing in front of your friends and family that close, and you make a big play, everybody goes crazy. You can hear them.
Dante, you're 4 years of being used to this. Does it still give you a thrill every time you come onto the court like that?
Yeah, every time. Yeah.
What are you going to miss the most about high school sports in general? I mean, you don't play any other sport after this, or no?
Nah.
After this, you're done. What are you going to miss the most?
I'm just going to miss playing with all my friends, and definitely just having the community around you is a really special feeling. Whether you're running on the field or on the court, just knowing you have people behind you who support you and believe in you. It's a really cool feeling.
Hayden, you get the last word. I mentioned you're coming out to the music. What's the team music? What's the team song coming out? Oh, my.
We switched it up, but
we've been switching
it
up.
We started off the first couple of home games with it's called Public Service Announcement by Jay-Z.
Okay.
Rapper.
Anything? Oh, I know who he is. Yeah, I got you. I'm not that old. But what else?
It's not the junior varsity.
Exactly. It's not. So anybody else? You said you switched it up. What else you got? Anything else?
Some Drake.
Okay, heard of him. Who else?
Big Toronto Raptors fan.
Uh-huh.
A little bit Kanye.
So, one or two.
Any rock and roll in amongst this? Anything?
I feel like that's more of a football thing.
Yeah.
Pre-game sometimes we dip in.
Yeah, when you're in the locker room, you play a couple.
Who's in charge of the music? Is there one person in charge?
There's Dante and me usually are in charge. But it can be really anybody who would suggest a song or anything.
Okay. As long as coach approves, right?
Yeah.
They didn't ask you about your coach too much, but it's pretty obvious he thinks the world of you guys, and we appreciate you guys being on. And good luck the rest of the year. We will definitely see you for at least a game or two, and we wish you guys luck. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, guys. First, we want to thank all the members. Stay where you're at. We want to thank all the members of Blackhawk, the young men Nate Fernitti, Justin Shaner, Hayden Jones, Tyler Heckathorn, Dante Campagna, head coach Andy Podbilski. I want to thank the man behind the mic, the beardless wonder, Ryan Gozunis, my partner here in crime, John Parada. I'm Mike Kazadian, and thanks for joining us for another edition of Coach's Corner. This Friday, we will have Avella at Rochester, airtime at 7, and we don't yet know who's going to be on Coach's Corner next Wednesday. But for everyone involved, thanks for listening right here on Beaver County Radio.
When life brings the great outdoors indoors, you need a reliable washer and dryer with the ability to enhance cleaning and sanitize your laundry. See the experts at AK Nahas to determine a laundry pair that works the best for your family. Whether it's the durability of commercial cleaning like Speed Queen and Maytag, or the capacity and power steam cleaning of GE and Whirlpool, AK Nahas has it all. Cleaning is believing. See it all at AK Nahas Appliance, Furniture, Mattress, and TV. You'll do okay with AK.
Zookie's Sports Tavern on Constitution Boulevard has the best wings and homemade sauces in Beaver County. Zookie's Sports Tavern is the perfect place to grab a bite to eat or a cold beverage before high school basketball games. Zookie's